The Suez Canal Corridor Area Project is a mega-project in Egypt that was launched on 5 August 2014 by President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi. The project's aim is to increase the role of the Suez Canal region in international trading and to develop the three canal cities, Suez, Ismallyah, and Port Said. The project involves building a new city, New Ismallyah City, an industrial zone, fish farms, completing the technology valley, building 7 new tunnels between Sinai and Ismaïlia and Port Said, improving 5 existing ports, and digging a new canal parallel to the Suez Canal. The new canal will increase the canal capacity by allowing ships to sail into both directions at the same time for a greater proportion of the canal. The project will transfer the canal cities into an important trading center globally. It will also build new centers on the Suez Canal for logistic and ship services. El-Sisi announced that the new Suez Canal project will operate after a year. The project's authority said that the revenues of the canal will increase from $5 billion to $12.5 billion yearly. The new Suez Canal and the 7 tunnels are under construction simultaneously. Construction of the rest of the projects will begin in February 2015. The project is also known as the Great Egyptian Dream because it will help the economy of Egypt to reheal after many years of unrest and corruption. The Egyptian armed forces participate in the project by helping in designing and digging the canal and the tunnels. It also protects the project's location from terrorists in Sinai. History. The Suez Canal Corridor developing project dates back to 1970s when Hasbulla el-Kafraway proposed the project to President Anwar al-Sadat, but due to problems, the project didn't start. He proposed the project again to Hosni Mubarak in the 1990s, but it did not work either. Engineer Hasbulla el-Kafraway sought to turn the canal corridor into an important international region rather than just a passageway for ships. In 2008, the former Minister of Transportation Mohammed Mansour again proposed the project. However, the Egyptian government again did not take any serious steps to start the project. In 2012, the Muslim Brotherhood introduced a development project for the Suez Canal region during the presidential elections. In 2013, Prime Minister Hashim Kandil began studying the project and announced that the government would begin to plan for the project. Projects. New Suez Canal. The New Suez Canal is the name of an under-construction artificial waterway project in Egypt, creating a second shipping lane along part of the Suez Canal. Also, other parts of the Suez Canal will be deepened and widened. The project was inaugurated by the chairman of the Suez Canal Authority Mohab Mamish in the presence of Egyptian President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi on 5 August 2014. The new Suez Canal is expected to expand trade along the fastest shipping route between Europe and Asia. The new canal will allow ships to sail to both directions in the same time. This will decrease waiting hours from 18 to 11 hours for most ships. The expansion was expected to double the capacity of the Suez Canal from 49 to 97 ships a day. The new Suez Canal will be 72 kilometers long, including 35 kilometers of dry digging, and 37 kilometers of expansion and deep digging. The construction, which was scheduled to take 3 years, was instead ordered by the president to be completed in a year. The chairman of the Suez Canal Authority announced that the revenues from the Suez Canal will jump from $5 billion to $12.5 billion annually. The Egyptian government said that these revenues will be used to transform the cities along the canal into international trading centers. The government has also said that many new projects in the Suez province are being studied as a result of enlarging the Suez Canal capacity, such as building a new industrial zone, fish farms, and the completion of the Valley of Technology. The project costs around 30 billion Egyptian pounds. No foreign investors were allowed to invest in the project, but rather Egyptians were urged to participate in funding the project through a stock market. After President Sisi announced the new mega-project, Egypt's stocks rose to the highest level in the past 6 years. The Egyptian armed forces participates in the project by helping in digging and designing the canal. 7 new tunnels. The chairman of the Suez Canal Authority announced that 7 new tunnels will be dug to connect the Sinai Peninsula to the Egyptian homeland. 3 tunnels will be dug in Port Said and 4 will be dug in Ismallyah. This part of the mega-project is under construction. The tunnels will cost $4.2 billion. The Egyptian armed forces participate in the project by helping in digging the tunnels. Technology Valley. The Technology Valley is an old project that has stopped for about 17 years, and now the government announced to re-continue the project. The project's location lies on the eastern part of Ismaïlia city and consists of 4 stages. The first stage covers 3,021 acres, the second stage covers 4,082 acres, the third stage covers 4,837 acres, and the fourth stage covers 4,160 acres. However, before 17 years when the project started, it completed only 108 acres and then stopped for 17 years. The Technology Valley will be the first step in starting Egypt's electronics industry for manufacturing technological devices. Industrial Zone. This project will cover 910 acres of land northwest of Gulf of Suez. The first stage of the project covers 132 acres and it is done with a cost of 20 million Egyptian pounds. The second stage is 132 acres and it is not yet done. Currently there are 23 factories operating and 56 still under construction. Upon finishing the project it will provide 9,386 work opportunities. The chairman of the Suez Canal Authority announced that the government will build 18 new factories in the industrial zone, which will include glass factory, car assembling factory, electronics factory, medicines factory, textiles factory, furniture factory, paper factory, sugar factory, food factory, petrochemicals factory, petrol refining factory, light metal manufacturing factory, and a minerals factory. The chairman of the Suez Canal Authority also said that ship factories and services will be built among the Suez Canal corridor, which includes catering and service center for ships, ship manufacturing and repair center, a center for manufacturing and repairing containers, and logistic redistribution centers. New Ismallyah City. This project will create New Ismallyah City, which will cover 16,500 acres of land. This new city will be created to accommodate approximately 500,000 Egyptians in order to relieve the pressure from the crowded towns of Cairo and the Delta cities. The location of the city is designed to accommodate the workers of the nearby Wadi al-Technology, which will be built in following years. Fish farming. New fish farms will be built in the eastern side of the Suez Canal. The project is creating 23 tanks that will cover 120 square km with depth of 3 to 5 meters. It will cover the area from southern Tafria to the Gulf of Suez. This project is designed to produce high-quality fish food. The project also includes building a solar panel that will produce up to 2,500 megawatts and reforming 400,000 acres of land in northern Sinai into farming land using the el-Sisi Canal Russian Industrial Zone. During a state visit to Russia, President Sisi said that he had agreed with his Russian counterpart President Vladimir Putin to establish a Russian industrial zone in the new project. However, no more information was given about the project, so the Russian industrial zone is still a proposed project with no studies so far. Developing existing ports. Western Port Said.The. Western Port Said.The lies on the northern entrance of the Suez Canal and is considered one of the most important ports in Egypt because of its location on the entrance of the Suez Canal. The port covers an area of 2.9 square km. The port contains 37 docks, which includes docks for passengers, yachts, and general goods. The port is divided into stations and each station contains a number of docks with its own working area. The maximum capacity of the port is 12 million tons yearly. Eastern Port Said.The. Eastern Port Said.The lies on the northwestern entrance of the Suez Canal branch, which is a unique location because it connects 3 continents. The design of the port is geometrically ideal. The port was built in 2004 to serve international trading and act as a transit center between the continents. The port borders the Mediterranean Sea from the north, the industrial zone from the south, the salty lakes from the east, and the Suez Canal branch from the west. The port covers an area of 35 square km. The Port Authority plans to build docks that will reach 12 kilometers long and an industrial zone south of the port covering 78 square km. 3 stages are still remaining to fully complete and improve the port. Stage 1 is creating 8 stations with docks 8 kilometers long. Stage 2 is creating 15 stations with docks 16 kilometers long. Stage 3 is creating 21 stations with docks 25 kilometers long. el-Sisi.The Port. el-Sisi.The Port lies on the southern entrance of the Suez Canal. The port's total size is 24,919,337.85 square m. 3,400,000 square m is the water area. 21,519,337 square m is the land area. 1 million square m is the customs center. The largest dock size is 7 kilometers long and 5.5 kilometers wide. In 2008, an Emirati company bought the port and announced the plan to build a new 1.3 kilometers dock to work with more than 1 million containers yearly. It also said that a general goods center will be built. The port serves the oil and gas fields in the region. It exports products from the petrochemicals and refining factories in el-Sisi region. It also exports the products of a ceramic factory, ammonia factory, and a sugar factory. Irish Port. Irish Port lies on the Mediterranean Sea on the northern coast of Irish City. In 1996, the port was transformed from a fishing port to a trading ships port. The port contains a dock which is 242 meters long that can serve huge ships. There is another dock which is 122 meters long that serves smaller ships. The port also includes covered storage areas which cover 2 square km and non-covered storage areas which cover more than 2.7 square km. On the 5th of June 2014, the port was no longer controlled by the Port Said.The Authority. The Ministry of Defense took control of it due to its sensitive location. The port contains a lighthouse that can be seen from up to 18 miles. The main importance of the port is that it exports Sinai products to the Mediterranean countries. New projects: build a 2 km dock which will include containers station and a general goods station. Build new storage areas. Build a dock for yachts. Build new logistics centers. El-Sisi Port. El-Sisi Port lies on the western side of the Suez Canal, about 17 kilometers from Suez City. The Red Sea Ports Authority in Egypt controls the port. El-Sisi Port consists of 9 docks which reach 1,840 meters long and 42 to 27 foot deep. The water area is about 158 square km and the land area is 0.8 square km. The maximum carrying capacity of the port reaches 6.7 million tons yearly. In 2014, the Suez Canal Corridor Project Authority announced that El-Sisi Port will be improved after the completion of the new Suez Canal to serve more ships.